stand with having the meetings else at other locations south of the Broad?
So the correspondence I had with Eric Greenway on a phone call, he said that they would be willing to work with us in moving forward, that it's not a done deal. He said that they're just not going to have a regular, hosting of things like they had in the past, because he was finding council meetings from 2017 on there. It's costly, he said, so they're planning to basically use a YouTube version and house those things. So he and I are supposed to connect on Friday, but he felt confident that they would be able to meet our needs. So,
All right, so are you going to aim for on our schedule, which I have in front of me here for our meetings? The March 21 meeting is supposed to be at Hilton Head Library. So can that be?
That's what I'm aiming for.
Perfect.
That's
All
what
right.
I'm targeting.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, so I'm just, I guess, committee members, if you could just read through the disclaimer and public comments here, be sure we have everything we should there.
It looks good to me.
Yep. Me also in. Yeah, okay. Dick, you're good with it?
Yes.
All right, so then we go down to the body here. First is the executive session, and we have 4 items under executive session. What's item RSM phase 2?
Robert Smalls Middle School. Robert's supposed to get phase 2. He'll give me information if it's still going to be there.
All right. And Dr. R, do you know how long that will agenda item would be allotted time for?
I do not. I don't think it'll be a lot of time, but I'm guessing, maybe a 15-minute discussion.
All right. So this looks like probably at the present time, the 5 start time is good.
I think so.
Okay. Next, we have the public session. And our student performance will be Buford High Dance Ensemble. And do we know that, will that be in person or remotely?
It's in person.
Oh, good. Okay. And then several points of celebration. And our first public comments. And the Community Project Review Committee 2.0 update. And so I would just suggest whoever is giving that, we have their name there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Chairman's report. So far, we have the reminder to file the SC.
I put that on there because
Thank you.
you usually kind of start reminding everybody since this is March. So I went ahead.
That's perfect. I don't think of any other.
Dr. Glatz, may I request, Robin, can I request that next to the Community Project Review Committee update that we just put something in red there, that so it stands out to me, that says make sure we get the name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And I can't think of anything else currently for the chairman's report. Next up, we have the committee reports, legislative and technology. And do we have any? I think from legislative, we don't have any action coming out of that, do we?
No, ma'am.
No.
And there was no action coming out of technology today either.
Okay, so we'll have those reports. Then we're down to the superintendent's report, Dr. R. First up is curriculum update for student achievement.
Correct.
Okay,
And that's the only item we have on there.
right. So fiscal responsibility, wouldn't that be oh yeah, that's right. We're having the reports through finance.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. All righty.
Under board business action, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
are you going there next?
No, yes, I will. And so nothing under other matters for you?
I don't have anything at the moment.
Okay, all right. Yes, now board business action, we're back to book appeals.
So
After
this is,
for materials
this-
reconsideration committee reports, and it looks like 2, 4, maybe
1,
10
2,
books
3,
here.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah,
so I think we need to just recheck that, the appeals specifically, because the book 19 minutes was a book that I believe the committee made a decision to
remove it.
to remove it. So
Okay.
just want to make sure if they're
Okay.
actually appealing that or not. So we'll need to look at their actual appeals and may have to adjust the list.
Okay.
And I just sent you all Ivy's book appeal. It came in during technology, and let's see. No, it's 19 minutes. It's not on here. So I'll take that off the list.
Okay.
We need to look at the other one too, because
Okay, Mike's, okay,
one as well.
okay.
Okay. All right. Then we have our consent agenda with board meeting minutes. And then we have the other usual things, future topics, announcements, and second public comments and adjournment. And at the end here, it does say that we'll reconvene at 6 p.m. on March 8th if we haven't completed the agenda.
Mhm. Here's the list of future future topics. Can you
Mhm.
these were the update on school count from here on down, update on school counselors, discuss the possibility of doing another study. These were the ones that came out of the last board meeting.
Okay.
So update on school calendars, is that a work session or a board meeting?
It's counselors, it says here, not calendars.
Counselors.
Yeah.
That's what I meant, yes.
Okay.
I'm not really
Yeah.
sure what he's asking for on the update.
Yeah.
Not me either. I don't think, I didn't see William on here, or is he now?
No, ma'am.
Okay,
Madam Chair, I think
Yes.
he wanted an update on the counselor conference that they had, just to see what the results were and to see if anybody could brief the board on the results of the conference that they had.
The guidance
and has it
counselor?
already occurred?
Yes.
So that would be, I would think, something Dr. R could include under your superintendent's report?
Yeah, so he was talking about a conference. Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah, there was like a counselor workday our conference on Hilton Head
Oh,
maybe
okay,
2 weeks ago now.
okay. We can put that under other matters if you like, or
That sounds fine.
yeah, okay.
Any objections, Dick and Angela? No, okay.
No.
All right. So Victor, I think since yours is somewhat time sensitive, I think that should probably be on this agenda. About doing five, so the suggestion is to reduce the number of book reviews occurring at one time.
Yes.
That would be under board board business action. I would do it after the current appeal, because that takes precedence. The appeal would, or the appeals.
So here, put on, discussion on, what do we want to label it?
So
Reduce,
go ahead.
I'm sorry,
You go ahead.
reducing scope of book appeals from 10 to 5.
That's fine.
Okay. Also, Earl's is discuss the book challenges and what they're challenging specifically. Well, I think that depends on each challenge that's submitted. Do you, Dick or Angela, have any suggestions on that one?
Dr. Rodriguez has.
Okay, Dr. Rodriguez, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think the issue with that is that the challenge is, I mean, in the process, in this process, right? You know, the challenge is on the front end, not so much on the back end, right? So on the back end, they're just appealing really procedural matters, I guess. So on the front end, you know, sort of that part is kind of past, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Mr. Campbell is on.
Yeah, Earl, would you like to say anything?
Well, I agree. Whatever, I don't want to cloud up anything, but my thing is this. When the committee submitted the recommendation that the book go back on the shelf, then they're challenging to go, they don't want it to go back on the shelf, so I want to know why.
Got it.
That's all.
Got it. So he's talking about the back end on the appeal part.
Right.
I guess one thing we don't want to do at this point, of course, would be to change the process since we're in the
No,
midst
no,
of
No,
the book. So, or, the 96 or 7 of them, 97, I guess.
yeah.
So, I don't know. Do you have any suggestion, Dr. R, for that?
No, I mean, just have to look at what they submit in their appeal
Yeah.
as their document and their perspective on their challenge.
Okay.
Mhm.
Dick?
I just read the latest one that came in and, they mentioned how many times certain words were used in the book. They also had some excerpts from the book. And I read those when they come in, but you have to take excerpts in context of the entire book.
Mhm.
And so that really, and the number of F words really, I don't know that if there's a difference between 1 and 50. I mean, what's
Right.
the quantification of how many words make it unsuitable? I mean, that's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And that's what they're giving us. And I read it and take it for what it's worth.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mhm.
So it seems like here, Robin, they're just that it would be, based on the specific challenge,
Okay.
and
Um, since like the last one that just came in, where she gives specifics, then do we need to leave this on the list for discussion? Since if you read the last appeal, she gives specifics as to why she's challenged of what she's challenging. So does that answer your question, Mr. Campbell, or?
In fact, this whole book thing, don't, and maybe well, I know I'm not the only one, but this is beginning to be ridiculous. The words that they don't want their children to read in the library, their children can pick it up on their phone. You know, so I think this is just something to destroy public education, and that's the role of these folks.
Yeah.
As period, you know, and I'm not afraid to say that. You know,
Well, I'm putting in the box based on specific challenges, so
right.
that will
That's-
cover it. Okay.
That's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
So it
Okay.
seems like Rachel's here, discuss the possibility of doing another study on Act 388. I assume, well, does anybody know, is that specifically how Act 388 affects our funding? I don't remember her saying this in the legislative committee meeting, but
No.
do you remember, Earl? No?
No, it affects our, well, what the problem is that we don't, 388 was created some years ago,
Yeah.
and people that have second homes, their tax dollar would come to the school. Now they don't. Oh, yeah, Dick.
Or the other way around. Yeah.
God.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I think it was to look at having the legislature relook at Act 388,
Yeah,
but frankly, it's like tilting at a windmill.
that's right.
There is no way that the other 40 counties that get a large financial advantage of 388 are going to allow that to be overturned.
Right. It's not going
Right.
to happen.
And remember, I think Dick, you and I know were there.
Yes.
When Tom Davis addressed this at the new Culinary Institute of the South in Bluffton, when we had the breakfast for the teachers of the, I guess, of the year for each school, he said the only way that would possibly Act 388 would be reformed would be it would have to be a widespread reform throughout for school funding, not just looking at Act 388. So I think I guess it could go to legislative committee and you guys could discuss it there, whether you want to pursue it further. What do you think of that, Earl?
I don't think it will change anything. So unless Rachel want to discuss it, me, I don't, because
Okay.
it's not going to change anything. You're not going to change these folks' mind. You see what they do with school start time.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly. I agree with you, Earl. I don't think it's
So-
going to make a bit of difference.
No, it's not.
All right, so
I'll just leave it for now.
that sounds fine. Or just say, legislative committee if Dr. Wisniewski wants to pursue it further.
Yeah.
All
That's
right, I
it.
think that covered everything, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So that's,
That would be it for this agenda.
mhm.
Okay. Just add under the the
19
school
minutes or so.
counselor meeting or conference, just add that for Dr. R so he doesn't forget to, under other matters, right?
Yes.
Oh,
School counselors meeting update.
Conference.
Yeah, sorry, conference, not meeting.
Yeah.
All right.
mhm. That it? And I'm
looks-
to check on is it 19 minutes, Dr. R, you said to check?
Yes, yeah, I think
Okay.
that's the
Okay.
look that
All
I'm
right, I'll
assuming
check that.
they don't have, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Got
in
it.
their-
All right, so then the next meeting we need to discuss was the joint board SIC meeting. Which is on our calendar for March 9th, which would be 2 days after this business meeting.
And
So one thing I think is perhaps the timing of this is not ideal because as the board members remember, we had the joint meeting in December, included a reception. We took up a number of topics at that meeting, and then any of the topics we didn't get to, we just had discussion about 1 month ago at our work session. So
Mhm.
now, you know, it seems like it's so close that, I mean, I'm not sure what we would be discussing.
so the format was, so what you would just, they would do like what they did before. We would have let them write their topics on the sheets. We would divide it out by elementary, middle, and high. You would go back and give the update of what we discussed, what was left over at our work session, and then you would discuss whatever on their topics now, on their sheets that they put up on the 9th. And then whatever is left over, you would discuss at the end of the March work session. So if you have time to get through their list, then you would go through their list that they had on the sheets. If you don't have time, then that's what gets discussed at the board's work session.
My only comment back to that, Robin, with that process is we've already disposed of the issues from December because we already took those into account and discussed them publicly at the last work session in January. So these would be new things. So
Correct.
Dick,
Correct. They would be new ones.
go ahead, Dick.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
We have these folks come in together for this meeting. How about giving them a kind of one over the world budget discussion and then ask them to prioritize funding?
I like that idea.
I like that too.
Yeah, way to go. That would be totally different
Yes.
and it would be very helpful
Yes.
to the district to see what the school improvement members think, how we should prioritize the budget. I think that's a great idea.
And that'll cover our community meetings that they're going to do about the budget anyway. That'll be the first in the series.
It would cover one, exactly.
Mhm. Good job, Colonel Guy.
Yeah, all right, Colonel Geyer, way to go. So that would require, obviously, Dr. R, a presentation from Tanya.
Yep.
Yeah,
Just a one over the world, so they understand about general fund, local funds, debt service, and all of that. 8%, because they're going to want to fix things and so on. So they just need a general overview, no more than 10, 15 minutes, couple, 2 or 3 slides, and then say, okay, now what do you all think? How would you, if you were king as a group, how would you prioritize what gets funded first? What's your top priority?
yeah.
Teacher salary, there's just a laundry list of things. And I think it'd be very interesting to get their kind of feedback on that.
Do we keep the networking or take that off? Are we providing food or just take that off?
I'd say take that off this time unless the
Okay.
others have a different idea about that.
So the time would be from 6 to 7:30.
Yep.
Got it.
And on this sample you have, yeah, you could, obviously you'll take out the section where you have the networking.
Right. It'll be,
And put
it'll
in-
just be from 6 to 7:30, Pledge of Allegiance, introduction.
So under
um,
introduction, I would just put a budget presentation,
and then it would be discussion of
of
prioritize
priorities,
or priorities.
or budget priorities by,
Suggested budget priorities.
yeah. And then I would take out, I don't think you need that topics not addressed, because we're only addressing one topic.
Right.
We're gonna
Yeah.
take their
Well,
suggestions.
yeah, that'll come off.
That can come off. And so then we have to decide where this meeting is going to be. And I would really push for South of the Broad. I think that's only fair to our South of the Broad SIC members. And we just had one in December at the DESC. So Dr. R, can you pick a place for us to do this, where we could have it recorded? Because it's not on our schedule where it says to be determined where it's going to be.
Yes, yes, so, I'm just thinking on the recording piece. So if the county's not lined up by the 9th, we would just have to,
Do it at the Hilton Head. We have to see if we can do it at the Creative Arts in the gym and set it up the way we did the other board meetings.
yeah, we
Okay.
can do that.
That's,
And, okay.
Would there be another, there might, well, that, yeah, okay. I was thinking, would there be any other option at the School for the Creative Arts in terms of not necessarily that huge gym room, but just a smaller room? Because I don't think we're going to need all that space. But
we
I
have
don't
to
know
se-
about,
If we have to consider if we're setting it up by Zoom, we need to be able to have, we have to have the mics, we have to have the equipment. So yes, we will nonetheless,
all right. That sounds great. And I think that's a great idea, Dr. Colonel Guyer. I think that's really good. All right. Do we have any other agendas we need to discuss tonight?
nope. Next meeting,
Yep, let's do that.
it would be March 13th or the March 21st meeting.
So I can't do that. I'm gonna be
How about the
out of
14th?
town the week of the 13th. So could we do the 10th maybe, or the 9th? But that would be the same night as this meeting.
If you want to, we can do the agenda setting before this meeting. Because we've
That would
done
be
that
good for
before.
me. But I don't know about Colonel Guyer and Angela.
I'll make it happen.
All right, so do you want to say for 5 o'clock for the agenda setting?
Yes,
And then the other meeting, and we can just do it at that location?
yes.
Yep, and then we'll have the SIC meeting
It
starting
begins
at,
at 6. Yes.
okay. That sounds good. So committee members, do we have any other business we need to address before we adjourn?
Nothing that I'm aware of.
Okay, and I see Colonel Guyer shaking his head. All right, then we'll adjourn by unanimous consent, and thank you to everyone that attended and participated. Bye.
Goodbye.
You.